Why a hackathon, design sprint or innovation sprint are perfect ways to hack your business growth. G'day, I'm Nils Vesk, founder of Ideas with Legs. If you like what we're sharing today, please subscribe below. But let's get stuck into it. You know, it sucks if your business results have hit the ceiling and you just can't seem to find a way to increase them. But running a rapid business innovation event is one proven way to achieve that breakthrough. But if you get it wrong, you can waste a lot of time, energy, and money. Now, I can help you eliminate nearly all of the risks with the following hackathon and innovation sprint tips. But first, what's the difference between these growth hacking activities and which one will work best for you? Now, I've had the good fortune of running all of these growth hacking events before for my clients, and I've also taught them to run them themselves so they wouldn't have to put up with me anymore. No, actually, my clients do like me, they say. But the first noticeable difference between these is in their size. Now, when it comes to a hackathon, hackathons are often run as competitions, and they tend to be run with larger groups for anything from 15 to 200 people or even bigger. And they often incorporate people from all areas of an organization and even people from outside of the industry. So you might have people in your finance team, customer service, operations, sales, the whole spread. The more diverse, the better. Now, hackathons originally come from the tech world and are definitely used to create new tech solutions or apps to help a particular company or organization. However, the exact process can be applied to pretty much any business or industry. It's the collaboration process and the structure that matters most. Now, what a hackathon does is it challenges people to create something over a set time using technologies primarily, but it's an opportunity to connect, collaborate, and to create. It's also an opportunity to network, to meet other people and form teams with people from different skill sets and industries to tackle a problem or a process together. Now, a hackathon is usually run over a 2 to 3 period, and more often than not, they actually run over a weekend. And they do this so that people from outside of an organization can join in, and also so it doesn't disrupt a typical working week. Now, design sprints or innovation or sprints, and they all kind of mean the same thing, on the other hand, are actually run over 5 days. And they're smaller in size of participants, usually no more than 12 to 15 people, and they work best when, again, there's a cross-section of participants from different areas of the business. Okay, so now how to run a hackathon without wasting anyone's time, or we could say a beginner's guide to running a hackathon. First, start with a briefing. Now, most briefings are usually done on a Friday evening, and at the briefing, a list of problems is shared with the prospective teams, or if there's any information or a particular area that might need some innovation, they'll talk about it and identify exactly what it is. The teams will get the opportunity to interview the people with the problems. For example, a brief might be, we have all of this data from our customers, how can we use it? So that would be a data type of hackathon that's going on there. You might have mentors on board or experts from various fields to help to answer questions, or in-house experts. And also what can work really well is to actually have customers or users there as well. Now, we have usually teams with a minimum of 3 people. And a traditional tech approach is to have one of each people of the following people involved in a team. So the first one is a business savvy guru. Their role is to manage and coordinate the project. Usually these are salespeople or a marketer or a project manager. And in the biz, they're referred to as the hustler. No pool cues required. 2, a UX designer or graphic designer. So that's the second person in the team. Usually user experience designer, if you don't know what UX means. And they're usually referred to as the hipster. And then 3, the third one is a programmer or a coder who is usually referred to as the hacker. Now, these 3 people make up the core team, and you can bring in other people as well. Each core team member has a critical role to play. The hustler works on managing the project and creating a business plan to ensure the team has the best idea and can try and hopefully win a prize, or has a strategy to take the project further. Quite often, the business model generation canvas is used for this. If you haven't heard of it, just do a Google. You'll find free templates that you can use all around. The hipster, however, works on the UX, the user experience, process and design. And they'll deep dive into the core features that are required and create an interface, something that looks like we can use using tools, whether it's Photoshop, another one's Envision app, and Canva is a big one. So envisionapp.com, as an example, is a popular app that enables people to transform web and mobile apps into clickable, interactive prototypes and mock-ups. And here, what's usually happening from a tech perspective is to create something that works in an essence to give a sense of where people could go and what that would feel like. The hacker works quickly behind the scenes, kind of creating something that works, be it a website or an app of some sort. Now, many hackers often use github.com, and that enables people to store and collaborate and build different software projects, and also use free software that's out there as well, or freeware. Now, the hackathon goal is to test at hyperspeed what works and what doesn't work by running rapid experiments, validation, and crude prototypes. And people learn as much from each other as they learn from the projects themselves. And much of the success of hackathons comes from failing fast. Now, I'm not a big fan of that one, but the concept really is that an idea that doesn't work quickly becomes the impetus to create something that works better. So it's sort of, I like to say, learn fast. That's kind of learn faster so you can build something better. Now, remember, as I said before, the customer. Don't forget the customer or the user. Just as important as the coding is the persona and the customer journey mapping. So what would the end user think? What would they feel? What would they do? And what would they say? And making the customer journey as a map is a key to creating an outstanding end product. So make sure that you invite several customers or stakeholders to be involved throughout the hackathon, because that's what you need to do. Otherwise, you're kind of sticking the finger in the air, hoping that you've got some things right. And what I would suggest is have them join in at the start of the hackathon. That's the most critical part, so that the teams, the hackers, and the hipsters and the hustlers can ask them questions, and then also a little bit further on as well. So here are 8 tips to ensure the success in running of the hackathon. 1, have clear objectives that outline and forms everything of the expectations and area of focus. 2, clear deadlines and deliverables. Make sure people stick to the step-by-step process. Have one head facilitator. 3, visually show people where they're on a hackathon at different stages of the day, so people can see where they are, what's coming up. Usually I have a big chart up on the wall, or we have it on a giant screen so people can kind of see on a chart physically where they're going, what's going to happen next. The 4th thing is to make sure that you've got a very good mix of different people. You want to make sure that an individual group is not too big. I prefer to cap each team at around 7 people. 5, make sure you've got a great environment so it doesn't feel like a usual workplace. And 6, keep people motivated throughout the year. Remember, good food, fresh air, and some prizes as incentives can help. 7, be flexible. Things change. You might not be able to do everything that you want to do, but work with what you've got. And number 8, ensure that you're getting constructive feedback. You're not here to criticize, but rather to help people innovate. So you're trying to look things to make things happen. All right, so that's a hackathon. Now let's move into the world of a innovation sprint or a design sprint. Now, essentially they mean the same thing. Depends which industry you want to work with. Some people even call them an agile sprint as well. Now, an innovation sprint's primary focus is to identify a bottleneck or a business opportunity to create some potential solutions, to validate these solutions or these new product ideas. And we want to do it over a quick amount of time. Now, if you're running to look at a very safe innovation sprint, here's some of our favorite sprint idea tips. So typically they begin with day 1 with a research into trends and influencing your existing past and future clients. We can usually do this before the event happens. And so this pre-session research should always include some customer research interviews and surveys as well. So we use that of these emerging trends. We go, day 1, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the key emerging trends that we uncovered, and together with these customer insights that we've discovered, we're going to turn them into more commercial insights. So that might be a critically ignored customer need, frustration, or a bottleneck that can be capitalized on. Day 2, we shift into looking at defining the fundamental challenge that needs to be solved. And then we put on our ideation hats and we start to generate a stack of ideas that can solve this valid problem. And then we storyboard this as to what type of prototypes that we can create. Day 3, we start looking at what the customer is thinking about this. So we might actually invite them to join in to share feedback on the ideas that we've got. Now, the best ideas that we have created, or the group has created, are shortlisted, and then we choose which of them are to prototype further. So it's usually not just one, but several of them. The selected ideas then have a prototype storyboard created to help people work out how they're going to build their prototype cost effectively and rapidly. Day 4, we actually build the prototypes as rapidly as we can and look at the validation experiments that we have. And then finally, Day 5 is about having an actual user experience by getting customers or stakeholders to interact with the prototypes or the validation experiments that we've got. And when this is going on, what we're doing is we're making observations and then we're interviewing the people who'd used the prototypes after. And based on that, we can create some clear next steps to capitalize on the newfound knowledge. The motto is spend a little, learn a lot. Now, let's wrap this thing up. Running a hackathon or an innovation sprint may seem like a big commitment, yet these are the types of activities that companies such as Google and countless startups use to hack their growth through low-risk innovation. Now, you might wonder how often you should run a hackathon or an innovation sprint. From experience, maybe one hackathon a year works for wonders for a large company, while doing an innovation sprint every quarter, maybe once every 12 weeks, helps to keep the momentum. Most importantly, helps you to grow at minimal risk. And a good innovation agency like ours can make running one of these events a breeze, but also doing them yourself isn't too beyond you. If you need any help, please just give us a shout. We've got your back. So I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to learn more about our proven minimal risk business innovation techniques, please check out our innovation agency site, ideaswithlegs.com. I hope that makes some important tips and gives you some value in innovating. And if you like it, please subscribe. See you next time.